This is Kayla Salyers going into week 4, 3-0, second highest points in fantasy, all thanks to late night fantasy football. Watch them every Saturday.
All right. Yeah.
And welcome in. Late night fantasy football here. Jordan Thompson with my co-host, as always,
Evan Norton.
And we are here to give you your late Saturday football info, updates, takes. One of the few out there that actually gives you late Saturday breaking information to help you set your lineup Sunday morning. Late Night Fantasy Football, LNFF. Check us out on all your social meets. We will be there. Hashtag LNFF. Let's get into her today with the news.
Where are we starting?
Well, I mean, we knew it was a possibility coming into this.
COVID.
We didn't want it to happen, but here it is, 2020, messing up yet another sport. And COVID-19, it hit fantasy, it hit football. It has spread. And repercussions already. Tennessee versus Pitt. Tennessee.
Better be making moves. You're going to have to replace all those guys.
Tennessee got hit. They've had multiple confirmed. They're up to like 12, 15 now. Like next week's game's even in jeopardy. They've keep getting hit. That game has officially been canceled. As of now, they're moving a couple bye weeks around, and this is just going to be considered a bye week. Tennessee, Pitt's bye week.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but you got to pivot when you can. You can't just write this week off and take the loss.
Yeah, so, I mean, few, positives, I guess, for Tennessee. This is now going to be A.J. Brown's bye week. He could have missed this one and had another bye week. You might get one extra week out of A.J. Man, that's
never bad.
The little silver lining on the terrible hurricane.
Yeah, I love me COVID. I love me some A.J. Brown.
And then we had some crazy news break yesterday. Cam Newton, starting quarterback for the Pats. He has COVID.
Yeah.
That was big news. Starting quarterback, hitting.
I don't know if we would have been loving starting him against Casey anyways, but it definitely is going to bring down Edelman. Might help James White a little bit, though.
Yeah, the KC game, it was just him. They've had a couple more tests. No one else tested positive yet. So they pushed the game back to Monday. So be wary. You might need to even, the potential to spread is there. It might happen where you're looking at Monday and all your players basically have played besides the, Atlanta Packers players have played. And now all of a sudden they push back the game, canceled this week. They get a bye week. Now you're sitting there with nothing. That's basically, that might be happening all season. I mean, this might be a thing now.
This would be the time to get your commissioner, though, to set something up where maybe you can have a stand-in player, because that game could get canceled right up until it starts, I'd assume. Late Sunday night.
So as of now, that game's going. So we'll touch on that game a little bit later, but this is our time to bring up a little bit about these COVID stuff. Evan brought up, maybe getting some rules in place, but let's talk exact rules here. Should these canceled games, these players don't have COVID, but now it's considered a bye week, and now they're not playing. Should they be considered COVID IR eligible, in your opinion?
Yes.
Okay, and that's even though it's a bye week?
Yes, because you might still get another one later.
I mean, I fully agree, too. The game was supposed to be canceled. It came out of nowhere. You weren't planning it. You didn't draft him thinking, okay, week 4, I'm going to have this bye week.
Well, yeah, and then you still might have to plan for 2 more additional ones, God forbid.
I mean, hopefully we get through a full season. Your payouts and what was going to happen if your season got cut short. That should have, I mean, if you haven't taken care of that yet, talk about it now. But the payout should have been taken care of already. We're not going to go into that. Basically, we're saying these bye week games, players should be IR eligible. It looked like late last night, let's see, Sleeper put out a tweet saying that COVID teams, players from COVID teams are now officially on the COVID list and IR eligible. I'm thinking that, ESPN and Yahoo are probably going to follow suit. They'll be coming through, hopefully, by tomorrow morning. And then you'll be able to put them on IR, scoop up someone else. Find yourself a pivot out there and move on. Another rule that Evan sort of brought up is the COVID, continuation rule. We got that KC game going on versus the Pats. So let's say you have Patrick Mahomes going, and they're like the later game on Monday, and all of a sudden, come Monday afternoon, game gets canceled. Now you have Patrick Mahomes in your lineup, gets you absolute 0 points. QB not in your lineup, getting you 0 is pretty much the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, you're done for.
So how I have in almost all my leagues, how I've been telling people to set it up for this reason, because this COVID might go on for the whole season. So you might as well get something in place now, is before the games go, you literally have a player that you choose that will get subbed in for a late potential COVID canceled game. So like this week, and I mean, we're going to talk about this later, you go and you scoop up Fitzpatrick. You get a little Fitz magic, throw him in on your bench, and you say he is your guy, your dude, that he will be in your lineup if Mahomes doesn't play. And this has to clearly be stated well before, the games are played. You can't be like, oh, well, this dude popped off, I'm going to choose him now. No, that doesn't make it fair, and that ruins everything. If you choose it beforehand, this should literally make it fair. Everyone should be able to hopefully roster full lineups, and you help the integrity of the league. What do you think about that?
I think it's the only fair way to do it. You can't really expect a game to be played, and then right beforehand it gets canceled, and there goes potentially your season.
And the way it looks is this might affect the entire year. So we might as well get something in place now, figure it out now. Hopefully we can get through this season. And with that, let's get into matchups.
What we got first?
So this week, there are a lot of injuries. There are things that have all of a sudden taken place. We've had no preseason. We've had crazy IRs. We've had crazy injuries. But yet, the game moves on. So we'll highlight some players to pick up and some pivots to make. If we got some questionable players, we'll let you know if we think they're going to be in or out. So first on the docket, we got the Jags versus the Bengals.
And if you're one of those guys who picked up James Robinson for nothing, not even on the waiver wire, congratulations.
Bravo!
Everyone's very impressed with your knowledge.
Bravo! We're in a contract league, and literally the minimum you can give a player is $500,000, and he is on a roster for $500,000.
Yeah.
I mean, there are not many people out there that was willing and thinking that he was going to be this stud coming in, He was just like the third man up on a roster. Yeah. You had Raquel, he had the COVID, he's been on IR, and then it was supposed to be Ozigbo, and then he got injured, and then Robinson next man up, and he has been a beast.
That's the way it goes. Opportunity is king, but pretty much from the year on out, I don't really see a situation where you're going to be sitting that guy.
No, I mean, he's locked, loaded in your flex probably.
Yep.
At the very minimum in your flex. He's probably a middle of the pack, RB2 rest of the way for sure.
At this point, I don't even think Raquel or Chris Thompson, Ogdenabo, or however you pronounce that guy's name, are really going to eat into that too much.
Nah, he probably should have that fully on lockdown, getting at least 15 to 20 carries every game and like 5 targets.
Yeah, that offense has kind of surprised me a little bit.
They came out the first 2 weeks firing, and they fell a little flat last week. That was because of Chark. Chark was their number one there, and he was injured, and it showed. It looked like Minshew really needed him some Chark.
Who's your number 2 there? Keenan Cole's going to come back down to earth. That was just random. those first 2 weeks, if he hadn't grabbed those touchdowns, his stat line wouldn't have even been that great.
And
I'm seeking regression right there.
I'm really thinking Cole will be average. You're going to get a couple good weeks. He might be like a very desperate flex play.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, the man that I'm thinking that's going to like give you potential the rest of the season, Chenault.
Yep.
Laviska, the rookie.
I agree.
It's weird because it's week 4. It was like week 3, all of a sudden the teams like just let the reins go on all these rookies that they were holding back, and they finally just let them play. And Chenault looks like one of those rookies that's going to just step in and get carries, get receptions, and be like the scat do-it-all all-around back for that team.
Mm-hmm. As far as quarterbacks go, I'd say Minshew, Burrow. Pretty sure they're both top 12 right now, aren't they?
I mean, they're close. They're QB2s. They're middle of the pack QB2s, I'd say.
Oh, they're 12, and Minshew's 9, QB 9 right now.
I mean, currently. I'm saying, like, rest of the way, they're both solid. I was excited for Burrow. You're obviously hesitant on a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
But he's got, his wide receivers are just insane over there.
Yeah.
You're looking
minus
at
AJ Green.
Boyd and AJ Green. You were excited about coming in. He has.
Is he borderline droppable at this point?
He's fizzled. I think he is. If you can find a better player as a free agent, he is droppable. It's clearly based on who the player you're going to be picking up is, but
maybe see if like the Gaskin owner is just like really hurting for a wide receiver. Maybe you can even just get Gas. That's about like
so both
Devontae Freeman. Maybe you can go get Devontae Freeman. As gross as that sounds to me, but probably holding more value right now than AJ.
Sample he came out. Everyone started picking him up. Everyone was all excited, and last week he got 1 catch. He was 100% on his catches, though. What could say it was a small sample size.
Yeah, rookie quarterbacks do like to lean on a tight end. I'd still take him.
So basically, Jags, Cincy. Jags were they had a good one game. They're 1-2 coming into this. Cincy is 2-1. They had that just terrible tie with the terrible Philadelphia Eagles.
Let's be honest. You're going to be starting Joe Mixon. You're probably starting the top 2 wide receivers on each team. You're starting Robinson. It is what it is. I don't think there's anything fancy here for this one.
I'd say Higgins. Higgins has surpassed AJ Green. I think he's also that rookie. You have rookie on both sides. 100%. They let go of the reins, and Higgins last week blew up.
Yeah, when I'm talking about the top 2 wide receivers in the Bengals, it is not AJ Green in that conversation. That is Boyd and Higgins.
While putting Mixon into your starting lineup might make you throw up a little bit in your mouth.
Yeah, it makes my skin crawl,
he's
actually.
Pretty much a must start just because of his opportunity.
And where you drafted him.
Yeah, there's not too many like true bell cow backs like you get out of him. He was a little bit questionable coming into this. Mixon owners might have picked up a little Geo action, but I think he'll be full health. He'll play fully. I'm not saying he's going to put up anything great, but he's going to be their true bell cow.
All right, what do we got next?
So next up on the list, we got Browns and the Cowboys.
We're smashing starts all over this game. Anytime the Cowboys are taking the field, I'm starting everyone on their team. I'm starting everyone on the opposing team.
You got 3 great receivers. You got Dak Prescott. You got a good tight end. You got a top 5 running back. Like, the Dallas offense is amazing. They're like one of the top 5 offenses in the league, and they have one of the bottom 5 defenses in the league. This is going to be a crazy over-under from Vegas, and no matter what that number is, I'm going to take the over. It's surprising how bad that Dallas defense.
Yeah, man, they weren't looking this bad just a year or 2 ago. It's almost impressive, but you love to see it. Not a Dallas Cowboys fan in the least, so it's fine with me and it's good for fantasy.
It's great for fantasy. Yeah. I was picking up Dak all over the place, and I love to see it. They brought in rookie CeeDee Lamb. These guys pretty much. I'd say week 2 took the reins off of him. I think he has became the number 2 there. I would definitely say we got Amari Cooper, Lamb, and then Gallup.
Yeah, that's how.
And they're all starting. Gallup's probably my flex. I wouldn't consider him like a true blood. He blew up last week, but he's going to be hit or miss. I put him in my flex. And Schultz, out of nowhere, you had that injury to the starting tight end, and he has proceeded to catch like 10 targets every week since then. So I'd say he is a top play at tight end this week.
And on the Brown side, are we concerned about OBJ yet? He just doesn't look like the OBJ of old from the Giants.
So,
days.
I mean, you got it's name value. I think, eventually it's going to turn around, but he's going to be hit or miss. He's going to have weeks where he's putting up 20, and he's going to have weeks where he's going to give you 7. And, he's going to finish the season as probably a high, middle of the round wide receiver 2, just because of those high weeks.
You feeling more comfortable with Jarvis Landry the rest of the year or OBJ?
You're probably
gotta pick OBJ, right?
Yeah, you're not playing Landry. He hasn't done it. He was it last year. He has not done it this year. I'm not even probably starting Landry.
Ooh, wow.
I'm off that Landry bandwagon now. I had him in multiple leagues. I picked him up to be my flex, and he has given me single digits every single week.
What about Hunt and Chubb? What's crazy? I think if I could start a duo in a backfield, I might start Hunt and Chubb on the same fantasy team if I had them both.
That is, they are both running back ones, and they are both 100% smash locked in starts this week.
When do you think the last time that's happened?
Oh, there's been backfields, but this is insane. I mean, Hunt was amazing for Kansas City, had an off the field incident, got picked up on the cheap, and has proceeded to be like the best flex backup running back there has been in a long time.
And obviously, if anything happens to Chubb, you got yourself a potential league winner there.
And he's locked and loaded now. They just gave him like a 2-3 year contract, and he is set. He is their running back, and Chubb is just a beast himself. I'd say one of the best pure running backs. And then you get the PPR play out of Hunt.
Yep. So we're starting OBJ, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. Jarvis could probably sit on your bench. Hunt and Chubb are goes. Zeke's a go. What about Mayfield?
Well,
their secondary
against
bad.
That really bad defense, if you are in a bind, in a tough bind, you got your quarterbacks maybe, didn't play. You had Big Ben or Tannehill or I'm throwing him in. I'm throwing him in over a lot of the lower end.
Yeah.
He's a good flex play. He's a good DFS play.
This would be a situation too where if you do have Mahomes and Baker's floating around out there, I could see picking him up as that step-in guy just in case the Chiefs and Patriots don't play.
All right, there it is. Baker, I'm not saying locked, loaded for the rest of the season, but this week, good filling guy, and we are moving on. That game is a smash, by the way. Just basically play it. I mean, even Landry. I know I hate on him, but oh man, that Dallas defense.
Yeah, if he was on my team, I'd probably have a tough time not starting him. Yeah.
Next game, we got the Saints and the Lions. This is another one of those. Lattimore is hurt. He's out. He was their shutdown on Galladay. I'm gonna let's just start one side at a time here. Okay, Lattimore's out. They haven't really looked all that amazing. I mean, the defense has been okay. The offense hasn't been that great, and the Lions have been, even without Galladay, were pouring it on kind of.
Yeah. Do you know that Drew Brees hasn't won a game without Michael Thomas in a staggering amount of time?
I did not know that.
You got to look that stat up. I'd have to look that stat up again, but it's a shocking amount of time that Brees hasn't won a game without Michael Thomas.
I did not know that. I know that he hasn't really been popping off too much other than throwing to Kamara.
I'm going to find that stat real quick, but how are we feeling about the Saints?
So in my mind, the Detroit defense isn't all that great, and Drew Brees still has Kamara. I think he's a low-end play. I'd probably play him over Baker still.
Brees?
Yeah, because he still has options. But Michael Thomas has officially been declared out. Jared Cook is officially out, so you're going to need to find your pivots for that. But basically, I would still play Brees as QB 12, 14 range.
That's right around where I'd probably stick him.
I'm not excited about playing him, but I think he has a good chance to be all right against the Detroit defense. Kamara, smash play. He is hands and away the number one running back in fantasy right now.
Oh, yeah.
By a landslide, you're playing him. Latavius Murray, he is still probably sitting on your bench. I mean, you're going to hold on to him as the Kamara owner in case anything happens. You're going to hold on to him as maybe a spot flex play, and he has a chance this week. If you are completely hurting, I could see him, hitting that last roster spot maybe in your lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got that solid base.
I still don't want to have to play him.
I don't want it, but he's got a solid baseline. You're going to get yourself like 8 points probably out of him every week. And I guess right here, wide receivers, we're talking how Michael Thomas is out, Jared Cook is out. That leaves a lot of available passes. What are you thinking about Traquan Smith this year?
I don't like it at all.
I personally am not, I don't own him in anything, but daily fantasy play or spot start. You'd say you're the Michael Thomas owner and you were the AJ Brown owner and you were the Juju owner.
I guess it doesn't even matter. With so many injuries, Traquan Smith could be a sneaky play, but I'd almost feel better about Emmanuel Sanders. And that's saying something right now.
Emmanuel started slow, but teams didn't get a preseason. So he didn't get to work with his new quarterback, his new team. He has since week 2 in his slow start, he did pretty good last week. I think he might be coming on. And even with, Michael Thomas out, like Traquan did something last week. He got, a couple catches, caught a tutty. I think they both are in play. I think they're both in play for your lineup.
Yep.
I'd agree. You got injured players left and right out there. I'm not putting them in over, strong starts against great matchups. But if you're in need of a play, that is a perfect play.
Big question marks on that side. What about that Detroit backfield?
I'm not touching.
Yeah,
I ain't touching anyone.
I don't want any.
I love me some APAD. Like in his career, not touching him. I haven't touched him the past 4 years.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift. If you have him in Dynasty, awesome, but just keep him stashed for now.
All right, I roll it back a little bit. Again, desperation times call for desperate players. He's going to get some work. He's going to get like 20 touches. So if you really need a baseline floor guy, I would cry, but he would be in my line.
Starting AP?
I'm just saying, like a RB4 spot start maybe if you need it.
We know you're starting Galladay if you got him, obviously.
I think Jones is out of it. I was all high on Marvin Jones, thinking with Galladay and him could easily tear it up. I was all high on Stafford. I still think Stafford's going to pick up his game.
Yep.
Quite a bit, but I'm not starting Jones.
Yeah, and I'm not starting Danny Amendola as long as Tom Brady's not throwing to him. I got better options out there.
Basically for the Lions, Stafford will be a solid play. I think you can throw him in with pretty good confidence. With Latimer out, confidence. Then you got no running backs. You got
no running backs.
Galladay is a smash.
Galladay is the guy you want.
He finally came off of IR. You were playing him. Yep. You sat and held him for 2 weeks. You are super excited that you're getting him back. And Hawkinson, I mean, he's been sneaky good.
He's a starting tight end. You're going to start him.
Tight end. He's a top tight end.
Tight end just sucks, man. I would remove him from fantasy almost, honestly.
You got Stafford, you got Galladay, you got Hawkinson. That's Detroit.
Yeah, and just looking at it now, he's only not scored double digits once this year. So you're starting TJ Hawkinson.
I think Hawkinson is a great play.
Yep.
He's up there for me. I think in Dynasty, he's probably one of the top tight ends you're probably going to be trying to get.
I'd agree with that.
So while he hasn't blown anybody away, maybe you could get him on the cheap.
Let's go to a fun one. Seahawks in Miami.
Oh, yeah. Super fun. Talk about another bad pass defense.
Yep.
And the Fitz magic might make it happen 2 weeks in a row.
And I think he will because everyone's passing on Seattle, and they're not really stopping anybody from doing it.
Seattle is 4-0, or I should say 3-0 coming into this, and it is literally based on Russell Wilson cooking.
We can call it a 4-0 pretty confidently, though, probably.
I mean, it's the Dolphins. Yeah. It's going to be 4-0. That's probably why I got ahead of myself there. But no matter – that defense is bad. This is like the Cowboys. They got just this terrible defense, but they are letting Russ cook, and he is, like, making drives, extend out these drives to eat up clock and, like, taking away chances for the opposing teams a little bit more than Dak is. They're firing, like Cowboys are firing, they're getting quick scores, and then they're letting the other team like take their time to do whatever. Russ is basically leading that team, commanding them. He is the number one quarterback in fantasy. You are smash playing Russ the rest of the season as long as they're letting him cook. And they don't get back to their old ground and pound, ho-hum offense.
Seattle, same situation as Dallas. If you have a piece there, you're starting. You're starting Carson, you're starting Wilson, you're starting Metcalf, you're starting Lockett.
So both Carson and Hyde were questionable. Basically didn't practice all week. They finally, last night, were listed as both more than likely going to play. They're both probable. If Carson, you're not going to play Hyde. If Carson's playing, you're not playing Hyde. So you could probably cut him, try to figure out something else on that, or you could just stash him as your backup. But Carson's your smash play here. He's going to play. You obviously have to watch before the game starts to see and double check. But as of now, he's playing.
Yeah, I don't even think we need to even talk about Seattle, other than maybe their tight ends. You like Greg Olsen or Disley?
No,
I was say if one of them was getting all the work, I'd be all about him. But they kind of seem to be splitting everything.
Yeah, I've always loved Russ tight end, but now he's throwing to multiples. So there's nothing that you can trust. And DK Metcalf and Lockett both smashing.
So
clearly, with how much he's cooking.
Along with their secondary not being great, we do like Fitzpatrick, and of course we like Devontae Parker. What about Preston Williams? He has not looked the same after that injury. He's not having a good year. We sitting him, or are you going to take a chance?
Even with that Seattle secondary, I'm going to let him prove it before I'm ever sticking him back in the lineup.
Definitely.
I need to see him get at least one solid game in before I'm ever taking the risk on him.
But if you are in a streaming QB situation, Fitzmagic is the way to go this week.
Yeah. He is in my top 7. I'd say he is number 7 for me on this week. Against that, like, as much as you know he's going to come out one of these weeks with just like a stinker.
Yeah, because
that's
coming.
What he does.
It's right around
every
the corner.
year. He goes and throws like 5-6 touchdowns, loving life.
That
Everyone's
4-pick game is coming though,
and then it just the wheels come off. But I think this is not that game.
No,
this is the horrendous, like 32nd ranked Seattle pass defense. Fitzmagic's going to shine. You got Gesicki, his tight end's going to shine, and Parker's going to shine.
This next one might be a little more difficult. Chargers and the Bucks.
All right, Chargers and the Bucks. Chargers.
Justin Herbert's look good.
I'd say their starting quarterback Tyrod has got a punctured lung from team doctors.
Yeah, he looked good in that game he came in though,
and so he is now out. Everyone said, he's going to start all year. The coaches said he's our guy. Herbert came in and crushed. He looked good week 2. He looked, passable week 3. We're coming into week 4, and Tampa's got a pretty good defense, though.
Yeah, it's mostly up front, though. Second hand, the back end's a little bit softer.
So is Herbert startable? Yeah, as like a COVID condition guy, I'd say.
If you're in a super flex, he's startable. I don't even think there's 16 QBs who are better right now.
I would love it in Dynasty. I'm getting all the Herbert shares I can. He's got that potential. So if you are in a bind, start him over some other these options, and moving on from there. Who's he really going to throw to?
Yeah, he's going to help every one of the wide receivers. Tyrod Taylor just was not looking great. So Keenan Allen's stock is going to be going up. I like Keenan Allen. I think other than him and Eckler, though, I'm kind of fading on Kelly. There's not really another piece of this offense that excites me.
Yeah, you're looking at maybe a play in Herbert, like a desperation quarterback play. Eckler you're starting, and you got Keenan Allen you're starting. You
got Hunter Henry too, but I'd like to see the the connection there before I'm getting excited about him.
I'm pretty much I've been off of Henry until they play a team that's just like terrible against tight ends. I'm pretty much off of that. And then on the other side of the ball, Tampa Bay, Timmy Brade, the ageless wonder.
Yeah, the Chargers got a good defense though.
They've got 2 key injuries in the secondary right now.
Yeah.
So
Derwin James is gone. Still got Chris Harris and Casey Hayward.
He's still Tom Brady. and they are out. They no longer this game have Godwin, and they are out Fournette.
Scotty Miller time.
Scotty Miller? Is it
Scotty Miller
Is it
time. The
Watson?
new Edelman.
Scotty Miller? Watson? I mean, clearly you're smashing Evans. The other game where Godwin was out, Evans just blew up.
Yeah.
And I think that was Tom Brady's best game of the season when he didn't have Godwin. So I'm thinking Tom Brady is a better play. I mean, I would take him over Herbert on the other side of the ball.
Definitely.
Am I like getting all excited about starting him? No, but I think he's got a solid shot.
And this backfield, I hate Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians, just tell us what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, it's either one or the other.
But with Fournette out, I think Rojo is going to eat. Ronald Jones is going to eat.
You know, I mean, he's had plenty of opportunities in the past to eat.
Game one, they didn't really play Rojo or Fournette. They just got him. They let Rojo eat, and he did great.
And then we got the tight end carousel. It's going to be OJ, Brait, Howard. If I need one, I'm taking OJ Howard.
Yeah, everyone was all excited about Gronk. Gronk smash, but I'm not touching any tight end.
Yeah.
I don't like tight ends. Arians never uses his tight ends in his offense. So I'm off of that. I think Rojo is a top play. I think Tom Brady is startable. And Evans is like the wide receiver.
Yeah.
Mike
Evans is a guy just like
He's
Godwin. If he's on your team, you're obviously starting.
He's a stud.
There's no way you're
playing
not.
it. That's how that matchup works. Next matchup we got is Ravens versus the Washington football team.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Washington Redskins, which is now faux pas. Do not say that.
No.
It is a football team.
If you have Lamar Jackson, congratulations. You have the best running back on that team as well as the quarterback.
Which leads into saying, do not start any running back for the Ravens.
Mark Ingram looks like he's running in sand.
Ingram is bad. You know, Dobbins will eventually be good, but as of right now, they're split in three ways. You got Gus Edwards, Dobbins, Ingram, all getting carries, all not doing goal line carries because that's Lamar Jackson.
The tough part is J.K. Dobbins is borderline droppable, but if anything were to happen to Mark Ingram, the value on him would just be insane.
So he's on your bench. You're holding on to him. You're not starting him. It's a hold because the potential's there.
Yeah.
But Lamar Jackson's a smash. Andrews, the tight end, is a smash.
Not any wide receivers, though, either. I mean, I like Marquise Brown, but, like,
He's
that's just tough.
He's got that potential, and if you start sitting him and not starting him, and he blows up on your bench, then you're gonna be all mad. So then you're gonna start him, and he's gonna put up a couple duds. He's another one of those dudes where he's gonna end up as
flex play.
Probably, end up at end of the year a good receiver, but he's gonna give you a lot of low points. He's gonna give you a lot of high points, and instead of just chasing the dragon, you throw him in as your last flex.
Yep.
And you let it ride.
I'm gonna like it when they play on Monday nights. That way, if I'm losing by a bunch, I'll put in Marquise.
Yeah, I think he floats in that last flex spot kind of guy. For how high we are on Jackson, it's basically because of his running. He's going to probably get a couple rushing touchdowns against the old Washington Redskins. He might throw a couple to Mark Andrews because he's all he throws to in the red zone.
Yeah. And if you're starting Dwayne Haskins for some reason, you need to reevaluate your strategy. So we're just going to go ahead and just pretend like he's not on the list.
I'm thinking he's going to get, cut. I'm not cut, but, they're going to put in someone else.
Alex Smith, baby.
It might be Smith. I really hope he's doing great with his leg, and I root for Alex Smith. Every week that Dwayne Haskins gives that team 3 interceptions and no touchdowns, I say, let Alex Smith play.
As a Scary Terry owner, how happy would that make you if Alex Smith was to re-enter the game?
Oh, that would make me so happy.
Yes.
But speaking of Scary Terry McLaurin, you are playing him. No matter how bad Dwayne Haskins is, no matter how bad anything in that team is, you are playing Scary Terry, and that is almost it. Gibson has flex opportunity. He is finally taking over that role. They played the veterans for 3 weeks. They've been giving the veterans so many carries. You get Smooches, McKissick, and all these dumb other running backs that are there. Just let Gibson play. I think they're finally realizing it. They're going to start throwing him the ball, giving him the ball, and they're going to feed him. I'm playing Gibson in my flex. I'm smashing Terry McLaurin, and that is it.
Scary Terry's just a dime in a bucket full of coal. Like he's just amazing.
Yeah,
but his team is just so bad.
You had that 1 week of Logan Thomas, and he's droppable. With Dwayne Haskins, there's nothing else there.
The man got so many targets, but yeah, until something happens at QB,
you're not playing Logan Thomas.
We are
sorry.
done.
Tight end Logan Thomas is now off of any team that I own.
Yep, sadly.
That's the way she goes, and that is all because of Haskins. All right, next game. You pretty much know it. Ravens are going to win that game, hands down. You're going to play McLaurin, maybe a little bit of Gibson in your flex if you can. And you're going to smash Lamar. But Cardinals-Panthers.
God, I hate Kenyon Drake.
How many shares of Kenyon Drake do you have there, Evan?
Every year, this guy ends up on my team. Last 3-4 years, he's ended up on my team. No, 4 straight. I think I've had him ever since the end of the league. I'm 4 straight on Kenyon Drake, and he always lets me down. He's still letting me down.
Every single year, there is huge Kenyon Drake hype. You look at his yards per carry numbers. You look at all this stuff, and he always lets you down. There's always something. The first, 3 years, you're looking at the B-hole, Adam Gase. Finally got away from there, went to this high-flying Arizona team. You're thinking smash. He did great, and now he has proceeded to dud it up 3 weeks in a row. And to be honest, it's
Kyler Murray's fault.
This looks amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start him. I'm going to be hoping this is his breakout week. If he doesn't break out this week against the Carolina defense,
I'll be very concerned.
Which is one of the lowest. I am sounding the red alarm, the red flag, throwing it out there. It is trying to get as much value in a trade as I possibly can for him. I am off of the Drake train if he doesn't do it this week.
Problem is, Kyler's just sniping all those red zone touchdowns. He just runs in them. Kyler's your best option in the red zone. You're running
Kyler's a top 5 quarterback. In this offense, they're running 4 wide, 5 wide. They're doing everything, which is taken away from Drake.
If you're in a contract league or a dynasty league and you have Kyler Murray, maybe me, you're a genius.
Yeah, dude, you're so good. Yeah. But
Hopkins starting, obviously, and can we please free Andy Isabella?
Free Isabella.
He's your second best receiver.
Fastest person on that team, and last week he showed it with 2 tutties when they finally sat down Christian Kirk, which I think is going to amount to absolutely nothing in his career. I've been saying that he is a dud, but for some reason he has maintained the number 2, number 1 status on that team for 3 years now, and I'm so off of Christian Kirk. But Hopkins was injured, but as of just this afternoon, he is expected to be playing. So if Hopkins is playing, you are playing him.
Free Chase Edmonds, free Isabella. What about Bridgewater?
So basically on that team, you are 100%. You're doing Murray. You're doing Drake. You're not going to be happy. You're hoping this is a smash week because it's Carolina. You're playing Hopkins, and you're doing nothing else with that. You're hoping that they finally give Isabella another shot and he takes off. Because you know what Christian Kirk's going to do? Not jack. So that's your team. That's what you're playing there. Panthers.
How concerned are you right now if you're a DJ Moore owner? Scale of 1 to 10.
Scale of 1 to 10. I am a 3, I'd say. I am a 1 on Drake and a 3 on DJ because the receptions and targets are still sort of there. They're still there. Whereas Drake's really not.
Yeah.
They're there, but Teddy's spreading the ball. And that was the one main concern. And now all of a sudden Teddy's spreading the ball and Robbie Anderson has become the team's number 1.
Week 1, 9 targets, 4 catches. Week 2, 13 targets, 8 catches. All of a sudden we realize, Robbie's the guy. 4 targets week 3.
I think week 3 was more a fluke. He will get his targets. Will he do anything? He's no longer the red zone guy. He's never really been the red zone guy.
Yeah.
And with Robbie there, he's no longer. He might not get 5 on the year.
Yeah, DJ is just one of those receivers who's just not a touchdown guy. He's gonna be Julio.
He's like your Edelman,
but not Julio.
He's a guy that will have the receptions and the targets and the looks. But the reason he was so drafted so high this year is you thought he was going to be the guy. You thought he was going to turn into the touchdown guy. You thought he was going to turn into the overall number one wide receiver for that team. Robbie Anderson has proven that wrong.
Yeah, one more knock to Gase's record.
I am 100% smashing Robbie Anderson.
Yep, I like him
the
a
rest
lot.
of the season, if someone said, I will trade you Robbie Anderson for DJ Moore, even though Robbie Anderson was basically undrafted, DJ Moore was a third, fourth round pick.
In that area.
I am making that trade.
Yep, me too.
So Christian McCaffrey went down. He's on IR. He's probably going to be out 2-3 more weeks.
Until that time where he comes back, Mike Davis is a must start.
It's a smash. He's 100% taken over the Christian McCaffrey role. You are smashing Mike Davis. You are smashing Robbie Anderson. You're going to start DJ Moore in a PPR league, and
yeah,
you are going to be
don't have a choice.
Probably sort of happy with it. He's got a good base, so you're playing him. And that's about it. Teddy, he's a low end in a super flex. You're playing him. That's probably what you're going to do. Other than that, I'm not playing him in a
16-man. He might sneak in, but I don't even see a 12-man league where Bridgewater's going to be your guy.
No, he's not until he can give you 3 weeks of production and play a terrible defense maybe. And Arizona's got a pretty good defense. Patrick Peterson, they're more than likely winning this game. And it's more than likely not going to be close.
Probably not.
So, next game we got is the Vikings and the Texans. I mean, it's probably known here that we are Vikings fans. And it's probably known here that we are now hoping to get Lawrence. We're hoping to tank for Trevor Lawrence. It has been about 3 weeks now of us sounding the alarm on the Vikings and how terrible that defense is.
But if you have Justin Jefferson on your team and you are debating putting him in your starting lineup for some reason, Olo BC Johnson is not taking the second wide receiver job back. Chad Beebe is not going to do much.
No.
They need Justin Jefferson to produce. He's going to have a good game.
This is basically when I was talking about teams finally taking the leash off of their rookie wide receivers. It is Justin Jefferson.
That's that guy.
He barely got snap totals in game 1. His snap totals went up, was still wide receiver 3 in game 2, and they fully let him eat and was the wide receiver 2 in 2-man sets in game 3, and he made them open their eyes.
Yeah.
It is a thing. 170-some yards and a touchdown. Just beasting out there. I'm putting him in my lineup.
The Vikes are an easy one. Cousins, you can play him based on his matchups, I'd say. You're always starting Dalvin Cook. If anyone out there was to sit Dalvin Cook, you shouldn't be playing fantasy football.
100.
You're starting Thielen and Jefferson, and if you needed to start Rudolph, I don't want to. He basically has to catch a touchdown to be relevant.
He gets a touchdown every other game. And then you're okay with playing him. The games he doesn't, you are very upset that you play him.
What are they doing with Herb Smith, man? They just
the hype on him was so real in the offseason, and he doesn't touch anything.
I don't get it.
I just feel that I don't know. The defense is really, really bad, so that brings us to Houston.
Start them all. I think Watson's going to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants to the Vikings defense.
So Deshaun Watson is a top 7 quarterback this week. 100% lock it in. Top 7 quarterback. You're going to play Fuller. You're probably going to play Cobb.
You start if you have Watson. If you can get Watson or Fitzmagic, who are you starting? Watson, right? You said
you start Watson.
You said Fitzmagic was your 6, so that means Watson's got to be top 5.
I mean, you're starting Watson. I just this week. I'm not going to start Fitzmagic over Watson if I own them both, but in my personal rankings, I have Fitzmagic over Watson.
Okay.
But I wouldn't start him over it just because of the name. And Watson's never going to give you that 5 picks, 0 points as a quarterback or negative points as a quarterback.
This is true. Much safer.
But am I going to be overpaying for him in daily over Fitzmagic? No, I'm going to pay $5,000 less for Fitzmagic. And I'm thinking he's going to do just as well, if not better.
Start Will Fuller. Kenny Stills, I don't know how I feel about it. If Stills and Cobb are good options, if you need a flex play due to injury, though.
Yeah, I need to see Brandon Cooks do something. I need to see Stills do something before I'm putting them in my lineups.
Oh man,
I think Cobb
completely forgot they had Brandon Cooks. That's how irrelevant he's been.
That's how irrelevant he's been. But against his Vikings team, either one of those two could probably be like a super cheap option in daily. But in my long-term season, I'm maybe putting Randall Cobb in. They paid him big bucks. He's going to be their slot guy. He might receive the targets in a PPR league. Other than that, you got Fuller. You're starting. Watson, you're starting. And David Johnson, if you were worried about David Johnson because of his numbers, he's literally paid like 3 top 5 defensive teams.
Yep.
Week 1, week 2, week 3, this is his breakout week. This is the week that you throw David Johnson in your lineup and you are happy and giddy that you have him. And that is that game. That's the end of it. We'll have to get back to us in the next one for the rest of these matchups. And we'll hit up, Sunday morning we'll hit up the Monday night games and these last 4 games of Sunday. But that is all the time we have in here tonight. I'm happy you guys were listening in, and I hope you learned a lot. And this has been Late Night Fantasy Football with Jordan Thompson and
Evan Norton.
Have a good one.
I must admit, I can't explain any of these thoughts racing through my brain. It's true. Baby, I'm howling for you. All right. There's something wrong with this guy.